Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very difficult day for all of us. It's been a difficult week, and it just keeps getting worse as time goes by. Yesterday, we learned that we lost American lives over in Afghanistan when the Kabul airport was attacked by terrorists. No one should be surprised that this is happening. Ever since Joe Biden got into office, things have just gone from bad to worse. And most of it was relegated to domestic policies, but now it's kind of gone into foreign policy as well. And he is a complete failure there. He's pretty much a Jimmy Carter 2.0. The fact that we have done what we've done in Afghanistan, pulled out so quickly, and when I say we, I mean the Biden administration. Probably should make that make that difference clear. Yeah, it was a very stupid way to pull out. I think that we all agree with that. I think that there were much better ways, more logistical ways that we could have handled this, and it just wasn't handled properly. And because of that, people are dying. Now, here's the thing. I do not think that Joe Biden should be in office anymore. And not just because of this monumental failure. It's because he is clearly not in a position where he is cognitively capable of carrying out his job. His speech is so slow. He seems to do weird things at odd moments. He seems to forget where he is half the time. Oftentimes he'll just go off into jumbled speeches that have nothing to do with what he's there to talk about. He jokes at inappropriate times. He just doesn't seem to be a president that is all there. And I don't think he should be president. I do think that he should be removed from office, impeached. I think that his entire administration should be impeached. But here's the thing. If we do remove him from office, we are going to get Kamala Harris. And is she going to be any better? The answer to that is an emphatic no. And I just want to read this from Jennifer O'Connell. President Harris, she's not ready, and neither are we. And it's a great article. You should definitely go and read it. But I want to highlight this one part right here. When she was running for president in 2020, Harris polled at 1%. And she did not win one delegate. Former Rep. Tulsi Gabbard bested her in that regard. Harris suspended her campaign before the Iowa caucus, and a combination of genetics and political placement put her in the running for vice president. When she became the chosen one, no one could point to any great accomplishments beyond the fact that she was a female, she was black, and she was Asian. Not exactly a rousing endorsement for vice president, let alone as the leader of the free world. Sadly, a world that is becoming increasingly less so. Kamala Harris is definitely more cognitively capable than Joe Biden by default. She is much younger. She still has her full faculties. However, is she a leader? No, she's not. People forget that during the Democratic primary that she was out very early. She was very, very popular for a while there. She definitely was, but you'll recall that Tulsi Gabbard exposed a lot of the problems with Kamala Harris while she was AG of California. And they were problems that many of us should be horrified by. Many of us were horrified by, and that's why she began to lose a lot of her support. People forget that she threw all sorts of people into jail for far longer than they should have been in there, and for things that really weren't that big of a deal. You know, like she would take drug possession, certain drugs, just marijuana, for instance, and throw people in jail over it for a very long time. Then she would turn around and use them for slave labor in California. Many of them, the vast majority, I should say, were black males. She decided that this was okay to do and then turned around and said that she was, a supporter of Black Lives Matter. This is a ridiculous person. And then I would like to remind everyone that while that was happening, the Tulsi Gabbard incident was happening with Kamala Harris, the Attorney General's office in California started to delete a lot of the records that had proved Kamala Harris had done all of that stuff. So she was out. She's very, just like Joe Biden, she laughs at inappropriate moments. She doesn't really seem to be a leader per se. She's not really stepping up and doing anything. During the entire Afghanistan debacle, she has been very, very quiet. She had claimed that she was part of the team that made the decision to do what they did in Afghanistan, but ever since then, like all the other Democrats, they've pretty much packed up and left. So has Kamala Harris. She's not anywhere to be seen or heard. She did cancel a recent trip or meeting with California Governor Gavin Newsom, and that's about it. There's really no telling what's going to happen now. I think they probably have her waiting in the wings because it looks like Joe Biden's about to collapse. It looks like Joe Biden he's about done. This actually would follow through with a prediction that I made not long ago that it would be about around a year before they finally said Joe Biden's probably not fit for office. But I want to remind everyone that Kamala Harris did not earn her way to this position. She did not do anything extraordinary. She didn't exhibit any kind of leadership quality that made her a perfect candidate for this position, or even the position of president, especially the position of president. She literally got into the position that she's in because she is a woman and she is a woman of color. That's pretty much all it took. The DNC selected her for this position because they were trying to appease some of the more radical people within their own party. That was it. They wanted them to support Joe Biden, but they knew that they would not support Joe Biden without Kamala Harris in there. And that is why she's there. That's pretty much it. She is not a good leader. She's a corrupt politician. She's not even very personable. All right, there's really nothing good about her. I say all this because it's likely that no matter what, Joe Biden is probably going to lose his position as president. He's probably going to be removed from office very quickly, very soon. At least that's what I smell in the wind right now. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think that Kamala Harris is going to take over soon. I think they're going to try to use her ascent to president as a way to distract us from all the other stuff going on right now. I think they're going to use her position as a woman and a woman of color as a weapon against those who would, dissent against her, just like they used Obama's race against those who dissented against him. You're going to see a lot of things happen that are going to effectively try to shift blame and focus from the Democrats and onto the Republicans. You're going to see a lot of calls about racism, about sexism, about the bloodlust of Republicans who now want to send people back in there to get our people out, and who will eventually have to go back in there anyway because terrorists will be attacking us in the near future. There is no doubt about that. People think that the Taliban are the Taliban and ISIS is ISIS and Al-Qaeda are Al-Qaeda, and that's just not the case. They are all three more or less the same. A person might be, one of the guys there might be Taliban one day and ISIS the next. It really just depends on where they fall in that time. So be well aware that we have opened the door wide open for terrorist attacks. And you are going to see Republicans do what they do and say we need to go in and make sure that these attacks stop by stopping them at their source. And you're going to see Democrats try to play the victim card. The Taliban is already starting to work on that by promising to tackle things like climate change. They're clearly trying to manipulate the left. And I have every reason to believe that they will succeed because the left is easily manipulated. But I feel like you're going to see a new era. You're going to see a lot of shifting blame. You're going to see Kamala Harris. You're going to see the DNC attempt to press the reset button for Kamala Harris, but rest assured, nothing will change. Nothing is going to change at all. Because it needs to be clear that Joe Biden was never in charge of the Democrat Party. Joe Biden was always his had handlers in the background. And the same thing is applying to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris isn't really in charge. Kamala Harris she's just as manipulated and there are just as many strings attached to her as Biden. So nothing is going to change. Right now, America is leaderless. It is absolutely leaderless. And if we really want to seize control of this country again, we need to practice our rights to vote when it comes to the midterms. We need to take as much power out of the Democrats' hands as humanly possible. We need to seize the Senate. We need to seize the House. We need to put in politicians that give a damn about this country and have a lick of common sense to them. And then, once that's done, we wait 2 years for the presidential election to happen, and we vote in somebody who actually knows what they're doing. We select an actual leader. Who that is, when we get to that point, we'll find out. But right now, I feel like an untrained puppy could be doing a lot better than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But I have a feeling that we're going to have a pretty good leader step up. But first, the midterms, and they're right around the corner. So remember to vote accordingly when that time comes. I'll see you in the next video. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or learned anything, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so you're made aware when we upload new content. See you in the next video.